morning on day 65. So now that I'm over Kearsarge Pass, I only have 5 more passes to go over before I get to Mammoth. 5 passes in 120-ish miles. So that's going to be 6 days for me, mainly because that's all the food I could fit in my pack is 6 days worth. And that's just a long time to be on trail, humping over passes all day. So that's my plan, Mammoth in 6 days. Quick update, I'm hiking solo now. Mother Nature started to get stressed about his visa. So he wants to make it to Canada while his visa is still valid. He decided to take off less time in Bishop than the rest of us and hike on. And he's going to try and up his mileage. Camel took a few days off trail to meet a friend. When he came back, he hung out in Bishop, had dinner with him. And during that time, he decided that he's done for the year. So he headed home. He's done the Triple Crown, and he just did the PCT in 2022. So he just decided this wasn't the year. I'm sure he'll find himself on a trail again pretty soon. And Sir Paul ran into some physical ailments, and he's been hurting for quite a few days. But he got down into Bishop, and his body pretty much just gave out on him. I'm glad we made it into town before that happened, but he pushed his body a little too hard, and he's got to call it a year. So Sir Paul also left the trail. So in the span of a week, our group of 4 is down to 1. But that's cool. I like hiking by myself. I like taking breaks when I want, and I like doing the amount of miles I want. And I've met so many people on trail that I'm sure I'll end up camping with people I know, seeing them in towns and stuff like that. And anyway, when I get to Mammoth, my 2 oldest kids are going to be there. I can't wait. Can't wait to see them. My selfie stick, i.e. my arm, is getting tired of holding this camera up. And I'm starting to go uphill a little bit. So I'm going to sign out. All right. See you guys. Okay, I just got to the top of Glen Pass, the second pass of the day. Started at 9,000 feet, went up to 11,700 maybe for Kearsarge, 11,800. I went back down to 10,500 maybe for the trail. And this one that I just got on top of, there's the snowfield I'll have to go across in a second. This one is called Glen Pass, and it is 12,000 feet, but it's a beautiful view, as you can see. It's amazing. Good morning on day 66. I finally got into a little bit of sun. It's been cloudy this morning. A little bit of weather came in last night. It didn't rain or anything, but got real windy and real cold. So yeah, it was a cold night. I stayed in the tent probably about an extra hour trying to warm up before I left this morning, so I got kind of a late start. And already I've got a wet foot. I'll show you a picture of this little creek I just had to cross. There's really no good place to cross it. I tried walking on some logs, and one of the logs gave out, and yeah, my left foot went down in the creek. So I'm walking with one wet shoe right now. Probably in a couple hours it'll be warm enough and I'll be ready for a break. I can stop and try and dry it out. Anyway, day 66 in the High Sierra. It's still beautiful. I'm going to turn around and give you a shot of where I'm headed. See if you can see this. Yeah, up there somewhere. My next pass. So for the next 5 or 6 days, I will be just going up and down passes in the Sierras, trying to make my way to Mammoth. All right, good late morning on day 66. I still have 4 miles to go and 2,000 feet elevation gain till Pinchot Pass. It's slow going today. I kind of wore myself out yesterday going over 2 passes in one day. So I'm not sure I'll try that again. But anyway, the weather forecast for today is 50-mile-an-hour winds up on the pass, so I assume it's going to be freezing cold and yeah, real windy. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll take a video when I'm up there, but my guess is if it's 50-mile-an-hour winds, I'm just going to scoot over the pass and start going down the other side. So Morning on day 68. Just for an update, been trying to make it to Mammoth in 6 days, which means I have to average 20-mile days. I underestimated the passes, and I went over 2 the first day and was able to get 18 miles that day. I went over one really tall one yesterday, Pinchot Pass, 12,200 feet, and pretty much took it out of me. I camped along a creek right behind me, well, a mile behind me. It froze last night, really cold night, but it was a great camping spot. And as you can see, I'm pretty high now. Let's see, 11,200 feet right now. So I'm not sure how high this pass is. This is Mammoth Pass. I'm gonna try and get over it today and hopefully have enough energy to keep going and get over at least one more pass. Be great if I could get 20 miles or over 20 miles to make up for the 2 18s I just did. But we'll see. Have a backup plan. If I can't make it to Mammoth in 6 days, that's how much food I have, I'll get off trail at Vermilion Valley Resort, go down there and have a hamburger at their resort, camp down there somewhere, get another day's worth of food, and then make it to Mammoth after 7.5 days, something like that. Anyway, as you can see, it's beautiful. It's cold. It's sunny. And it's the Sierras. So it's beautiful. Good morning. See you in a while. Okay, I'm getting closer to the pass. I'm just struck this morning by just the majesty up here and how small and insignificant I actually am in the world. 360 view, there's no people, just me, some marmots, some granite peaks, a few different kinds of plants, some birds, and honestly, none of them care if I make it to Mammoth in 6 days or if I make it to Canada or if I quit this trail. None of that. I think it's good for the soul to be in a place like this and just kind of get your perspective back about how important you really are in the world. I don't know, it's humbling and somehow good at the same time. So I think I have another 1.5 miles up to this pass. Good morning on day 68, I think. Pretty sure it's 68. I'll correct it if I'm wrong. Anyway, I got to start today by climbing Muir Pass, which is behind me there. I got to gain 3,300 feet in the first part of today. I can't remember how many miles, but however far it is to that pass up behind me. So off I go. I slept alongside this beautiful creek again today, which is a double-edged sword because it's a beautiful setting. It's a nice place to camp. Hearing the creek overnight helps you sleep good, but it also causes a little bit of condensation in your tent and makes it really cold outside. So again, I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning. I tried something new. I unzipped my tent but left the vestibule closed and made my breakfast inside the vestibule without getting out of my sleeping bag. Feels really lazy, but it was pretty nice. I made some of the granola that Monica made me and made a cup of coffee. Anyway, I laid in my sleeping bag and had granola and hot coffee. So it was a good morning. But anyway, day 60 something. Let's go. Hey again, still the morning of day 68, I think. I just passed a little bachelor herd of bucks at the stop and stand on the edge of a meadow and watch them feed through a meadow for about 10 minutes. I got some film of them, but man, it was just awesome. Such a peaceful, cool moment. Yesterday was a rough day. It started getting to me a little bit. I started looking ahead. See how far I have to go. Of course, going slower than I anticipated because of all the passes. So I'm obviously not going to make it all the way to Mammoth on the food I have. I'm going to have to resupply somewhere. So I was trying to figure that out. There's plenty of stuff to complain about up here. It's cold at night. You get sore by the end of the day, tired by the end of the day. You're going to run out of food before your destination. Just when you start complaining and worrying about stuff, you're in the middle of a beautiful mountain meadow with a stream rushing by, granite peaks all around, and there's 3 bucks just feeding through the meadow, giving you a show. Just when I was getting down on myself just a little bit, that happens and changes the outlook of my day. So I'm reminded that I'm so blessed to be out here. So blessed that I haven't had any major problems. I'm physically holding up. The weather's decent. It's actually really good. Views are spectacular. And I just know, not everyone has the opportunity to do this, so I'm very thankful for it. Just kind of reset me today. So God bless you guys. See ya. down the backside or the north side of Mirror Pass. Maybe one of the most beautiful passes there's been. 12,000 feet. There's a little hut at the top that somebody built in honor of John Muir. Super cool little structure where you can go in and get out of the wind and warm up for a second. Took a little lunch break up there, and I was hoping to get 12 more miles today to make a even 20, but going up Mirror Pass kind of took it out of me. Let's see, I camped at about 8,000 feet, and Mirror Pass was at 12,000 feet, so it was a climb. There's a decent amount of snow and bouldering and technical stuff too that just tends to wear you out. Just a trail update. Just means I won't get to Vermilion Valley Ranch for 3 days instead of 2. So I'll be eating the last bits of my granola bars or whatever I have left by the time I roll into VVR. But it's all good. I got some reserves around my waistline, so I'll be fine. I don't know if you could hear that thunder, but this is the end of day 68 after 4 days in the High Sierras, going over 5 passes in 4 days. I'm spent, and I was eating dinner. I saw some black clouds roll in, so I put some guy lines on the tent and tucked everything under the vestibule or in the tent, and there's now lightning and thunder. It hasn't started raining yet, but might be an eventful night. We'll see. All right, there was another lightning. See if you hear this one. And now it's raining. Oh boy. I guess we're going to see how well my tent holds up. We'll see you later. I got 2 days till I get to VVR. And 1 day of food. What a knucklehead. Anyway, I'll be fine. I'll roll in. Monica gave me a bunch of snacks this time. Man, that thunder's loud. And it's starting to rain hard. Okay, I'm signing out. Good night. See you tomorrow on day 69. This is a pretty good thunderstorm. Holy cow. Good morning on day 69. Last night, that thunderstorm continued on. Ended up with about maybe just shy of an inch of hail accumulated around the tent. And all that moisture means I got condensation inside my tent. When I woke up in the morning, the foot of my sleeping bag was pretty wet. Top of my sleeping bag was pretty wet just from drops coming off the ceiling, dripping on it. Anyway, made for a really cold morning. My intention was to get up have breakfast and coffee, wait for the sun to come up and everything to dry out. But I just got up too early. I was too cold. So I threw everything in my bag, started hiking to warm up. It's been, I guess, just over an hour now, and the sun's finally out and I'm warming up. Here's another creek crossing I got to do. Crud. They're everywhere. So anyway, I'm not going to take that stuff out and dry it until after I cross Evolution Creek. It's one of the more hazardous, one of the deeper crossings on the PCT. So there's no way around it. I got to get wet to go through there. So I'm going to go through there, then find a sunny spot to lay out my tent, lay out my sleeping bag, dry my shoes off after the creek crossing, and have a second cup of coffee. Well, here's Evolution Creek. It's definitely not as death-defying as they made it sound. Looks maybe thigh deep, maybe even just knee deep. Anyway, I'm gonna take my socks off and go across my shoes. I won't film it because I'll probably want both my trekking poles, but it doesn't look bad at all. So see you on the other side. Okay, that was a piece of cake. I don't know what everyone was talking about. That was a pretty easy creek crossing, but I guess in high snow years it gets, I don't know, reports say chest deep. That would be a different story. Even waist deep would be a different story, but it barely got to my knees, so no sweat at all. Biggest hazard is I got some pebbles in my shoes now that I got to shake out. So I'm gonna stop and do that. And I'll catch up with you probably when I stop to dry everything out. Okay, time for breakfast number 2 while everything's drying out. Breakfast number 2 is peanut butter, 2 Stinger energy bars, and hot coffee. By the time I finish this cup of coffee, I think everything will be dry and I'll be on the trail. I hope to go 20 miles today. I say that every day. And then I get knocked out by some 12,000 foot pass with snow and loose boulders and everything like that. Hopefully no more thunderstorms and hailstorms. That was a challenge. Have you ever seen that tattoo that's kind of popular right now? God is greater than the highs and lows. This last section of the Sierras, going through it by myself, has been great. I can't explain it, but it's just been awesome to do it by myself. Because there have been just epic highs. And there's been some pretty challenging lows. Yet God is steady. It's a helpful reminder that He's so much greater than the greatest highs I've been through. And so much greater than the lows, which really, I can't even call them lows because there's people in the world that, daily have worse circumstances than I've been through. A thunderstorm, hailstorm at night when you're tired is kind of a low for me, but it's not that big of a deal. And God is greater than that anyway. He's here, He's present, He's steady. And it just helps put it all in perspective. The highs are awesome. The lows are a challenge. The lows are kind of fun to get through, actually. But through it all, it's just my puny little existence and my puny little problems and my puny little highs that just mean almost nothing in the big scheme of things. So God is good, and I'm blessed to be out here. Yeah. morning on day 70. It's an awesome day. I woke up, it was freezing. The walls of my tent were frozen from condensation freezing to them. I was on the west side of Selway Pass at, I don't remember, like 10,000, 10,200 feet. So it got cold enough to freeze overnight. And second night in a row, I woke up with a wet tent and a wet sleeping bag from condensation. So that's getting kind of old. But anyway, I got up at about 5:30 to start hiking early. Ate my last food, which was a bag of trail mix, and had a Carnation Essentials with a Via instant coffee packet for a delicious cold latte, and started walking at about 6. Only took me maybe a half hour to get up to 10,900 feet at the top of Selway Pass. And as soon as I hit the other side, the east side, there was the sun. It warmed right up. That's been awesome ever since. I've been going downhill for, I'd say, an hour now, which is always a good feeling. And I'm just in a really good mood today. Let's see, I think I have about a 16-mile day, maybe 17-mile day to get to VVR, where it's a guest ranch. They like hikers. They give you your first drink for free, and I heard they have really good food. So even if I can't fully resupply there, I can have a big dinner tonight and a big breakfast tomorrow before my last day hike into Mammoth. One of the reasons I'm in such a good mood is Natalie and Will, my two oldest, are meeting me in Mammoth on the 3rd. So I'm really looking forward to that. And my youngest, Reagan, is still a struggling college kid, and she's got a summer job, so she couldn't get away and join them. But I get to see 2 of my 3 kids, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Taking a few days off in Mammoth, go kick around Yosemite Park for a little while with them and just hang out with them and reconnect for a while. Another stinking river crossing. I didn't know about this one. Dang it. Wet feet again. One more river crossing. Just below my knees. Freezing cold. I gotta get moving. Okay, turns out that creek crossing was actually pretty easy. I wore my flip-flops for the first time, and I was pretty sure I was in for disaster because flip-flops are just, flip-floppy, and I just didn't think they'd be good on the river rocks, but they did well. So I made it across, and life's pretty good this morning. Just keeps getting better. Get to hike all the way to VVR with dry feet. That's awesome. So, creek crossing update. All right, back in the woods, knocking out some miles. We'll see you later. Good morning on day 71, just checking in. I just left Vermilion Valley Resort, VVR, about an hour ago, and I'm walking back uphill to rejoin the PCT. Food was good. I had dinner last night. I had breakfast this morning before I left.